Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Yinzer Brothers podcast. I am TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and together we are the Yinzer Bros. Today is the Steelers-Browns pregame podcast. We have the 4-0 Steelers taking on the 4-1 Browns at our beloved Pittsburgh. Now, again, this is not your typical Browns team. It looks like they're starting to put some things together. Should be a great game. Should be a great test for the Steelers because let's be real. We still don't know really who the Steelers are. We've been playing garbage teams. But before we get to any of that, Tim.
Wait, can I stop? Can I stop some from the top? I know it's a big game and all stuff. I'm so sick of the Cleveland fans. It's unreal. And I'm sorry. I know some of your remote family is Cleveland fans. They're the biggest joke fans I've ever met in my life.
So now qualify that. Why do you think they're joke fans? Why do you
because they treat every game against the Steelers like it's their Super Bowl. We know what's going to happen. They may win this game. They may win this game. They may win the next game. But you know what's going to happen? When we play them, if they get to the playoffs, we're going to break their hearts like we always do. They're losers. That's what they do. They breed losing. That's what they do. They're losers. I'm so sick of them. They're making this out like this is their Super Bowl. I saw stuff with Hunt saying we're doing this for face basher. I mean, this is the biggest game of. You guys are.
You're not even speaking his name. You're not even saying Garrett's name, are you?
the fan base is a bunch of losers. They talk. They're talking. And they know what's gonna happen. It happens every year. It will happen. We all know what's going to happen, TJ. As long as number 7's there, as long as we're the Steelers, as long as the Cleveland fans deep down know it, the Yinzers from the down in the Mawn know it, Jim Brown knows it, LeBron knows it, Doyle, the ticket guy that ripped me off during the Pirate game, knows it. When it's all said and done, we're always going to be better than Cleveland. They know it. It's not – they can do whatever they want and they can think whatever they want, that this is their team, this is their year, that we're going to break their hearts and break their souls and break every inch of their bodies like we always do. Go ahead.
I like that, Tim. You're fired up tonight. I like this.
I'm just sick of hearing
I like this, Tim.
I'm sick of hearing Cleveland. They did it last year after face beater and they won that game. And what happened? When the chips were down – and they needed to beat us, we beat them with. Was it the Duck? Was it Duck in that game?
It could have been. It could have been you, Tim. It could have been you chucking.
It might have been. It might have been Doyle again, the guy that ripped me off in the Pirate tickets, which would be another story for another podcast.
That is true. That's a good story.
It doesn't matter. They know deep down in their gut they're going to lose. And if I knew deep down in my gut that I'm going to lose, I'm going to keep my trap shut. That's just what I do. You don't hear me running. You've known me long enough, TJ. We're brothers. Do I run my trap anytime we play New England?
No. Tim,
you know why?
Tim is quiet when we play New England. Quiet as a church mouse.
Deep down inside, I know that Tom Brady was going to rip my heart out and eat it in front of me. I knew it. Yeah, so there wasn't any chance that, we beat them during the regular season. Oh, great. You know what was going to happen? We were going to meet them in the playoffs, and they were going to rip my heart out, and I was going to be staring at a wall for hours. You know what this kind of reminded me of? If Cleveland is good, I remember when the Cincinnati Bengals that one year, I believe it was 05.
Yeah.
When they were running their mouths, win a division, running their mouths. What happened? When the chips were down, we went up there. I mean, Olvon did take Carson's knee out. Who cares? We won. We ripped their hearts out.
Never the same. Carson was never the same.
We ripped their hearts out. We pooped all over the city, and we marched on and won a Super Bowl.
We did. I like this. Tim's fired up tonight. You know what I don't like? I don't like Baker Mayfield being on every other commercial that I watch when I'm watching the games. What has he done to deserve to be on every other commercial? What has he done? I don't think he's that good of a. So Tim, let's just start out with this. Obviously, Tim is fired up today. Tim, tell us a little bit about today, about your day. How was your day?
I mean, Comcast is back on the list. Let's just put it that way.
Back on the list.
Back on the list. Internet goes out all day yesterday, and I finally, they're telling me yesterday it's going to be. I actually got a statement from that it's going to be online at 11:49 p.m. Central Time. My internet already being out for 3 hours. I got a text today at 3:30 saying we're back online. Congratulations. I'm Comcast. You suck. That started out with that today. Next thing you know, too, my Olaf costume. I don't know. It's in Shanghai somewhere. They're probably filling the Olaf head's probably getting filled up with opium. It's getting stuck at the customs. I'm never going to see it.
Yeah.
I sent another email out. Again, it's half Chinese, half American, half hieroglyphics again. I don't know. The guy basically said, if you don't get it, I said, am I going to get it by Halloween when I actually need it? Well, if you don't get it by Halloween, we'll reimburse you, which that's a lie. They're not going to reimburse me. Then he's basically said if that's the case, can you refuse the delivery? I'm not going to refuse the delivery. If anything, I'm going to say I never got it. I'm going to take the Olaf costume too to see if they reimburse me.
Tim,
and then,
working the system.
And then I got, we get some security cameras around here. I got a company that I'm not going to name names on, on the podcast. But, we have 2 of these cameras. I don't understand.
What kind of camera? Are they like the doorbell cameras, Tim?
They're not doorbell, but it's a brand of, I believe Doorbell makes them.
Okay, gotcha.
So we have one in our front, one in our back. I guess when the internet went out, of course they go offline. Unbeknownst to us, the one in the back's working fine when the internet comes back on. The one in the front, just not. So guess who got a taste of that medicine today? Talking to the call station in San Francisco, quotation marks,
by way of New Delhi,
with Steve.
Yeah.
My wife was on that call for about 45 minutes.
So how did she do being on that call, Tim? Is she pleasant and lovely?
Oh, I heard at one point sir, I've done this 8 times. It's not going to work. I also heard coming in the door, this is no joke, telling this to Steve, I'm going to rip this camera off the side of the house.
Maybe we got to suit her up and put her out there Sunday with the Steelers.
She was fuming. I mean, she was angry. She was not a happy camper.
So I got to ask you now, when she's angry at those companies, is she just get angry with them, or does the anger trickle down to Timoteo?
Oh, I got some of it. I get dinner was not pleasant at the Harris household. Dinner was not pleasant at the Harris household. I had to crack a couple jokes. Next thing you know, she's telling me they're sending us a new camera. When we got this camera, her dad put it together. I'm not the most handy man in the world. I'll admit it.
Tim, that's an understatement.
Yes. So they're sending out another camera, and her dad tells her, "Oh, don't worry, you can do that." So there's going to be 3 options. The house is either going to be set on fire. I'm either going to electrocute myself to death, or by some god awful chance, I'll hire somebody else to do this. Go ahead.
Well, that sounds good. So sounds like you had a banner day. So you are fired up for tonight's podcast.
I'm fired up. Let's
So this should be a good one. So fans, you're in for a treat, as Tim gives us the lowdown stuff. So you're in for a real treat. So again, the Steelers are playing the Browns at Pittsburgh this week. Again, we don't know who the Steelers really are just yet, so we're going to figure things out. We've got to look at when it comes to the matchup. But before we get to the matchup, it's funny. We're just talking about Tim's day, but actually we have one of the most beloved segments on the Yinzer Brothers podcast, and that segment is called Tim versus the world. I don't know if you know this or not. Tim, just as you could tell from the snippet that we just listened to, Tim has a challenge with pretty much everybody on the planet. He has problems with major companies, small mom and pops, charities, all kind of stuff. So this week, our segment, Tim versus the world, it's Tim versus the Boy Scouts of America. Tim had a run-in with a pretty ornery Boy Scout. Tim, tell us about your experience with the Boy Scouts of America that just happened.
I mean, before we get into this, I don't know, story rant, I apologize to anybody I offend their child is a part of the Boy Scouts, but I mean, this got to be the biggest ripoff on the planet, being a Boy Scout. I
Now,
mean,
what's the ripoff? Tell them what happened, Tim. Tell them about the whole experience.
okay, so I had a Boy Scout come last year to my house, and he shows up, and this is again not even taking away that we're in the middle of a pandemic. So last year I buy some stuff off these kids. I feel bad. He comes up, originally they have a booklet of stuff. I've had other scenarios where I've came out of a Walgreens, Boy Scouts are there. They're not like the Girl Scouts where you're going to spend $4 for a box of cookies and they're delicious. I can do that all day. The Boy Scouts, I mean, $17 to $30 for a bag of popcorn. I mean, and it's one of those, I know the one out of Walgreens, I get, I pulled the initial, I don't have any cash stuff. And of course the mom, well, I got the card reader. I go, come on, so you're looking for the cheapest thing in the catalog. And it's like a $15 bag of popcorn. I mean, who's making, are they making each one of these kernels individually being wrapped inside the bag? I don't understand. So I buy these popcorn, so this next year go by, Boy Scout shows up at my house. He's doing the whole catalog for popcorn. So after that ordeal at Walgreens, I refuse to buy more pop. I'm never buying popcorn from the boys. It's a ripoff. The kid comes to the door. He has this big catalog, you could buy popcorn. I'm like, I'm not buying popcorn. He finally says, you can buy a wreath to go on a veteran stuff. I go, you know what? I'm looking at, after he said that, my wife's looking at me. He's like, you better buy something off this kid. Giving me that death stare. And I still didn't want to buy anything. I'm like, okay. So this year, sitting in our house, it's probably about, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock. Keep in mind, you're in the middle of a pandemic. I get a knock on my door. And looking at the camera, it's the Boy Scout. I don't think it's the same Boy Scout as last year, because this Boy Scout, he looked like he could have been 26 years old. So me and my wife are looking at each other going, what do we do? Daughter's sleeping, so we don't want to so we're like, this just played cool and quiet. So we're just sitting there being quiet. This kid does not stop. He's knocking at the door. He's looking at the cameras. Hello? Is anybody home? He's looking in the window. Me and my wife are hiding under the cushions of the couches. We're doing everything possible. I mean, and this kid, this is like a 10-minute ordeal. He looked at each one of our cameras. I thought he was going to climb our window and actually look in one of the cameras and be like, I know you're in there. I know you're in there. So, like I said, me and my wife are hiding. He finally, this is after 10 minutes of knocking, yelling, hello. I felt like I was being harassed in my own house.
Those Boy Scouts are terrible.
Unreal. He finally leaves. So we get my daughter up. We take her for a walk normally, and I'm petrified. We're going to see the Boy Scout. So what happens? I go looking out. His mom is driving this Boy Scout. I'm going, you're a boy. You should be able to make fire with 2 sticks. And you got your mom driving you house to house. And I swear to God, about 10 minutes later, I saw this kid smoking cowboy killers 2 blocks away from me. The Boy Scouts of America, if you want me to buy something, you got to make it in the $4 to $7 range.
Yes.
You got to make it delicious. I'm not buying popcorn. I'm not buying it. I don't give a damn how delicious your popcorn is. I can go down to Walgreens and buy 37 bags of popcorn for one of your popcorns. I don't care. Don't sell me popcorn that's $97. Just don't do it.
So was the popcorn any good? What kind of popcorn did you get?
I don't even remember. I think I did, like I said, I grabbed the cheapest thing I could possibly. I don't think we ate it. I just grabbed the cheapest one I could possibly get and was. I mean, when I saw, it was one of those things too. Even when you get and you're checking your bank on the line and you see that charge, you're kind of hoping, well, maybe the credit card swiper didn't work. Maybe I got a free budget. And you see it pop up and you're like, come on, man. It's. I just don't get it. I don't understand. You would think you're in competitions with the Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
Who's making decisions in the Boy Scouts area to say, well, the Girl Scout, the Samoas are $3.50 a box and you get 12 of them in a box and they're so delicious. I'm going to charge $17 for some 9-month-old cheddar popcorn. I don't want that crap. I don't want it. I don't want it.
That's right.
Give me something better, Boy Scouts. I don't care. I would rather you give me I'd rather you give me something I can start a fire with. I'd spend $20 with that. I don't know.
Well, the Boy Scouts, they're in trouble. They're not doing very good. Girl Scouts have it together. Boy Scouts, I don't even know how much.
Why don't they say brownies or chocolate covered pretzels?
I'd buy that. I think the Boy Scouts didn't they just file for bankruptcy?
Go figure. I mean, go figure.
I think they did. So
Pandemic.
Tim,
who's sending their kids door to door during a pandemic? You don't even see the stinking what are they? The Mormon? What are they? The
Jehovah's Witness.
They're not even going door to door during the pandemic, and they're usually everywhere. I just don't get it. Don't get it. I don't get it.
So Tim, is it safe to say the Boy Scouts have made the list?
That Boy Scout made the list because, like I said, I swear to God, I saw that kid smoke. Like I said, he was smoking Cowboy Killers, and he had a 6-pack of Ice House about 3 houses down.
Oh, Tim. Oh, Tim.
I'm just telling you. I mean, I did send the clip of our camera to my brother. Am I making this up?
No, you're not. He looked like he was about 26 years old and still living at home in the basement.
I think he had a blue mohawk.
He did. He had different color hair. He did. The Boy Scouts, they've dropped the standards just a little bit. They have
the standard.
Maybe they've expanded the the get-in range, or maybe he was the troop leader. Who knows?
The standard is just not. He may have been the troop leader. I don't know. I don't know. He might have been.
So that's Tim. That's Tim versus the Boy Scouts of America. We'll see how that goes because apparently, Tim, you're on some list. So I assume that the Boy Scouts are going to be visiting you on a regular basis.
I have a sharp feeling that I'm gonna be getting stones and sticks thrown at my window for the next year.
If only you had a fully functioning ring in the front to see that, but now you don't. Word's out on this national podcast that pretty much anybody can come to your door, and it's like a free game, man, right now. So
there could be other cameras anywhere, and the house could be. There could be booby traps.
Yeah, there could be. Yes, there could be. So that was our segment, Tim versus the world. Don't forget, if you got any questions or comments, you can always email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. Again, that's yinzerbros@gmail.com, and we'll get to your questions.
My blood is boiling now. I mean, that Boy Scouts America happened like 3 weeks ago, and my blood is still fresh. Boiling now.
The pain is fresh. I can see it. It's all in your thing. So, maybe if you email us, if you're lucky enough, your question may get on the show. And I can't tell you what a prestigious honor that is. And who knows, maybe we'll get you a parting gift. We'll see. So let's take a look at the game. We got the Steelers versus the Browns. It's a big game, Tim. What are some of your initial thoughts on the Cleveland Browns?
I hate them. 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 I hate everything about them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I just hate them. I think. I mean, they're a good team. I guess. I mean, they really haven't beaten anybody besides the Colts, but we'll see. That's the one thing that drives me nuts about the Browns fans chirping the Steelers ain't beat anybody. You beat the Colts. That's it. The rest of the teams you beat stink.
That's
just
true.
Stop.
Yeah, that's true.
I think they can give the Steelers problems. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if Steelers lose this game. I wouldn't be stunned. But they don't strike fear in in my gut. There's pretty much one team in this league that strikes fear in my gut, and that it ain't them. It ain't
Who's the
them.
team that gives you fear?
Kansas City gives me a lot of fear and a lot of.
Well, hey, they lost this week to the Raiders. So you know what? They've come back to the earth. The Raiders are no juggernaut.
I agree. But I mean,
but you know, word on the street is they're picking up Bell.
Keep him. Keep that he is. It makes you. Now you sit back and you look at the big picture. It makes you think what Tomlin did when he had knuckleheads like him, Antonio.
Heck of a coach, isn't it? Coach of the year, huh?
I mean, it makes you just go back and you kind of just say, I mean, he controlled those guys for that many years is absolutely mind-boggling to me.
It is. He's incredible. So when you look at Cleveland, we know this. We know Cleveland's pretty banged up, which is good.
Well, I know the big thing today was they sent Odell home.
Beckham home. They did. And you know Landry's is out. They're ruling him pretty much out.
Really?
Which is good.
I didn't see that at all.
Yeah, that came down the pike. You know that Baker Mayfield is kind of beat up, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's playing lights out anyway. I think he's struggling this year. You do have to deal with Myles Garrett, the one that
I do not say his name. It's face beater, whatever. I'm not saying his name.
I mean, he's playing good football. We know that. You got Hunt, who's a good running back, but he's banged up too. It doesn't look like he's not going to be 100%. You're right. I can't believe they picked him up. You know, I was thinking he's got his issues. I think Cleveland, it's a misnomer them being 4-1. They're doing great with turnovers, which is great. And I think it's kind of hiding some of the weaknesses they have on the team.
They're also missing, I guess, one of their big corners went on RI too, I believe.
Yes, they are. So they're pretty banged up. They're coming in. They're the walking wounded. And again, they may get some guys on the field, but how long can they go? You know, especially and you know, they're right now. I think they're the number one rushing team in football.
Yeah.
But I think right now you stop the run and you make Baker Mayfield beat you. I'll take that matchup all day because I still don't think he can do it. You know, that's my opinion.
The one thing watching a little bit of the Colts game last week was, I think on both sides, even him, Rivers and Baker, there could have been a heck of a lot more turnovers. Guys were just dropping balls too. So Baker's going to give you three, 4 chances a game to get one. You just got to capitalize on it. And
you got to think too, the Colts. I mean, I know they got Rivers and stuff, but Rivers looks terrible.
Yeah,
he's a turnover machine right now too. So, I mean, I don't know that. I mean, they're even talking about maybe benching him. We'll see. But you know, so I don't know. Is there anything else about the Browns, you know, that makes you nervous? I mean, I like the matchup. You know, obviously, you know, when you look at Mayfield, he's not the biggest QB in the world. So they're always trying to get him on the outside, get him moving around. You know, they're running those boots all the time because he's not that fleet of foot. If you can kind of keep him in that pocket, he's a different quarterback in the middle than he is out on the edges.
TJ, this game's going to come down to you stuff Cleveland's run. There isn't a chance on God's creation that team's going to beat us. There's not.
That's true.
You stuff their run, and you make Baker throw the ball 35, 40 times. They're going to lose. They're going to lose.
There's no doubt in my mind. You're right. So let's flip over to the other team. Let's talk about the Steelers. What are some things that you think we need to see out of Pittsburgh this week in order to bring a victory home against the Brownies?
You cannot let I'm not going to say his name, face smasher. You can't let him control the game. You can't let him be a one-man wrecking crew. You gotta. Yeah. I don't care if they put 3 guys on him to block him. You can't do it. And I would like to see them get some sort of running game going this weekend to kind of. Cleveland's up front. Their front is not that bad. It's pretty good. They got a pretty good front. To stabilize that, to slow those guys down, even Garrett, slow him down. You got to run the ball. You can't sit back there. You can't pass the ball 40 times. Sit back there, you know, run the ball, get your quick stuff out. I think Deontay Johnson practice limited.
He did.
Have him back a little bit. I don't think the Castros.
No,
I'm surprised they didn't just roll him out. I know he didn't practice. Pouncey looked like he practiced.
He did.
To me, similar to what they did with Philly. You work that quick game, and you got to run the ball. You know, and I think you're going to be fine on the offensive side. And the defensive side, again, stuff the run. You make Baker beat you. If he beats you, tip your hat, move on to the next week. but you stuff their run. You stuff their run, and I just don't think Baker can beat you.
No, I don't think he can either. And I think you nailed it too with some of the stuff that we need to target. I think from an offensive perspective, it seems like their game plan this year with Ben is to get that ball out of his hands as quick as possible. You do that, then you're fine. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me this week to see Ben throw maybe 35 times.
Here's my one question to that though too, because obviously they have to know that,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they're going to start actually coming up on some of the receivers and challenging them too. I'm saying this. I think if Ben, you still work that short game, which you're going to need to do. But I think if you kind of complete a 1 or 2 deep balls within the first quarter or so, it's going to make life a heck of a lot easier for that offense than it would be sitting back and throwing these quick. Because eventually, corner's going to jump that. I mean, they're going to jump it. So I wouldn't be shocked if you see a couple more big pops in the first kind of opening of the game to kind of see if they can kind of stretch that Cleveland defense a little bit, because I think they're going to be sitting on a lot of routes from what they saw from Philly and stuff like that too.
I think it'll come down to, do they have the personnel to be able to cover our weapons? I mean, now this is where you get, again, even when you look at Ebron and these guys, he put the ball on the carpet a few times, but man, you got a tight end that's got a great catching radius. I mean, Claypool just established himself as a viable threat. You get Deontay back. He's fast. You got Juju, who's practiced, and he did very well. Washington, we can attack you many different ways, and again, depending on where Connor's at, you have McFarland there. I could see maybe Snell. This is Taylor, for him too as well. And Ben's making good decisions, getting that ball out in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You cannot defend a QB getting the ball out in 2 seconds. I mean, what do you do? 1,001, 1,002. Nobody's that fast in the NFL. Unless you're an old Troy Polamalu guy. But I think the offensive matchup against their defense favors us. Cleveland has not seen an offense like ours. I mean, the closest one would probably be would be Dallas, but we're built different than Dallas. I think when
we can stop people. I mean, Dallas can't stop water.
Their defense,
let's be real.
Yeah, so you got to get into a shootout with them. I think when you flip it to the other side, I think you look at our defense. I think the Browns offense reminds me a lot of some of the stuff that the Eagles try to do with Carson Wentz, where they try to get him outside the pocket. They try to do the slants and do the boots and stuff like that. And the Steelers attack the boots very well. Carson Wentz had a great game. I think he doesn't have the game that he has. He threw the ball very well, and they had the one receiver doing his thing. I think the Steelers whomped them. That one long, run was just a fluke. After that, they didn't really get anything going on there. So I still like what the Steelers defense does. So I think we're in a good position. Again, you got to see how everything's played out. I don't know, but I'm with you. I think if you can stretch the field early, I think we're in good shape. And I think that we proved that we've added, I think the big game with Claypool is a big deal, because you just added a ton of threat. They have to account for him now. They do. In fact, I think if Johnson can't go, I think they move him into the number 2 receiver slot. I think that he leapfrogs maybe Washington.
If you want my god awful opinion, I think he's already moved into the number 2 slot, and you're going to see him on the outside, Deontay on the outside, and Juju working a lot of the slot like he used to.
That's where I think that's him at his best. Juju's great when he's there. He is. You get the matchups. I'd be interested to see if Juju gets the attention of a number 1 receiver now.
The one that I'm kind of curious about who's coming back, which I haven't heard much of, was Derek Watt. I mean, I think I thought he practiced, and I think he's gonna.
He did.
He makes the running game when he's in there. You get that fullback kind of lead, and I think you got a different type of running game also, which is a good thing. But I got a weird feeling in my gut that this is going to be a big Devin Bush game. I think he is going to make a couple splash plays this game.
Boy, it would be great too if we could get a Mika sighting. Wouldn't that be great?
I just don't know where he's at. You need a splash play from him sometime, somewhere, something.
You do. And it would be nice too. I mean, Joe Hayden is going to be inspired. This is his old team coming back in. And I think we're going to find out too what Cleveland's about either, because I don't believe Cleveland beat any good teams to really merit where they're at either. The big team that they played that was decent, the Ravens crushed them. I mean, so I mean, it's like, so what do we really have going on here? So I think it'll be interesting to see, how they do what they do. And I think if we can not turn the ball over, if we can hang on to the ball, I think we'll be in good shape. So thinking of the game, give me a score prediction. What do you think the score is going to be?
1,000,000-0. It's tough because you think of these games, and anytime you're even talking like an AFC North game, it's usually pretty close. I think the Steelers are going to beat the tar out of this team. I really do. I'm going to say 27-10, 28-10, 28. Well, we'll go 20. No, you know what? Heck with it. 31-10 Steelers.
30, what's funny? That's exactly what I was going to say. 31-10. So maybe it is maybe it's a divine thing. Who knows? I think the Steelers are going to come out of this 5-0. They're going to put on display a lot of cool things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a good game for them, as long as Mason Rudolph doesn't take the field.
No, don't say that. You know what? I guess I would do it if you want a hilarious statement. If you want to be, I would send him out for the coin toss because Myles Garrett's going to be out there. I would send him out there just to see what happens. just to do it. Just to do it. Maybe I don't know. Just to do it. See what happens. It'd be hilarious. But we'll see. I think we're going to know a lot about the Steelers the next 3 games here. So I think you got Cleveland. I think you got Tennessee, and then I believe you got Baltimore. So
you got Tennessee. Tennessee's looking good too. Holy cow!
I'm still not I think Buffalo's okay, but we'll see. I can't swallow the Ryan Tannehill Kool-Aid. I just don't. And plus, Buffalo was missing. I watched that game. They were missing their top 2 corners. They're missing White, who is probably one of the best 1 or 2 corners in the league. That defense wasn't Buffalo's complete defense. But then again, and I don't think Henry's not going to run on the Steelers. Even though he's up 1 million pounds, they will bring him down to earth.
But boy, wouldn't Henry look great in black and gold?
All I kept thinking about was one of my 4 plays when the cornerback from Buffalo got stiff-armed by him.
Oh, that was just ridiculous.
I would have been in the first row of the stands in Tennessee. I would have caught all the COVID from all the Tennessee, all of it. I mean, that may have been my final resting place in that stadium.
Henry, I'll tell you what, he's a stud.
Henry would have stiff-armed me into the crust of the earth. I mean, I would have died.
He's a stud, man. He's a stud.
I mean, that stiff arm. I thought the Vance one was bad last year, which it was. It was very bad. That stiff one, I was Norman. You should be forced to quit football. And I'm not talking like after that game, like right then and there, you should be forced to take off all your pads, take off your helmet, leave it right there on the field, and they should have to play around it too the rest of the game.
It was brutal.
Like
he's a force.
It should just be like the outline when you see the dead bodies. That's what should be on the football field. Maybe the rest of the season, just leave it there. This is where Josh Norman died.
Oh, it was bad.
Like I said, if it was me, he may have. I'd be in the 3rd row. I'd be in the 3rd row, thinking there's going to be a vendor coming down serving me something at some point because I'd be dead. I would be dead.
Henry's a man. He's a man.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I have to say it. He's just a man. So give me an idea. Like, who do you think is going to be the sleeper on the Steelers this week? Who's the guy we're not expecting to show big that's going to show up big?
I mean, every week I do this, it's completely wrong.
Mm-hmm. Is this the week Edmonds is your sleeper?
You have a better chance of that 26-year-old Boy Scout being my sleeper than Edmonds. I think this week my sleeper is going to be, James Washington.
All right. That's a good pick.
I think you're going to have some deep pops to James Washington. As far as I know, he may play 3 plays the whole entire game.
You ready for my sleeper? I'll make it.
If you name somebody that's just so obvious, I may just.
I'm making a bold prediction. I'm going to make not only I'm going to call the guy out, but I'm going to tell you what he's going to do. I think. Here's my bold prediction: Mika is going to have at least 1, maybe 2 picks. He's going to come back thundering this week.
So to me, it's not a sleep. I mean,
what has he done all year?
But that's
nothing.
I mean, but I did. I mean, you considered. I said Devin Bush earlier, and I think he's going to have a monster game. But I wouldn't consider that a sleeper. I think it's kind of.
I mean, but what has he done all year? He hasn't done anything. So we're calling out who's our guy who's going to show up that hasn't showed up yet. I think Mika's. They're going to find Mika again this week.
Then to me, it's Devin Bush. I think Devin Bush is going to make. I think he's going to be your guy that's going to make a couple splash plays.
I hope you're right. I think the Steelers are going to win the takeaway battle. I see this week 4 takeaways for the Steelers. 4. I just feel it's going to happen. 4 takeaways.
That's a lot, man.
Baker's he's going to throw at least 2, maybe 3, and they're going to get a fumble.
If Baker throws 3 interceptions, he will be benched at some point.
That'd be great. Well, here's my question: if they bench him, will they spare us all those stupid commercials that he's in? I can't. No. He's in every other commercial.
I mean, I don't know what you wanted. He is. I made that statement. I'm like, he is in every commercial.
How's he in every other commercial? The only other person I don't want to see in those commercials worse than him is Tom Brady. I can't even buy Gillette razors anymore because of Tom Brady and all the crap that happened up in New England. I used to love Gillette. I can't even buy them anymore because you know what? I can't fuel the Patriot machine. I can't pay money for that to fuel the Patriot machine.
I understand, man. I mean, I like one of the commercials though. I mean, a couple of them are pretty funny. The Bakers. I can't stand them, but a couple of them are pretty funny. The one where they're trying to put all the things on the seat, I think that's pretty funny.
I mean, what has he done? I mean, what has he done to deserve all those accolades?
Let me ask you a question, Teach. Someone's out there throwing a bunch of ridiculous money to you, saying, "Hey, I want to make a couple commercials." What are you going to say?
Well, I'm not saying it's dumb for him to do them, but I'm saying who thought like, "Hey, let's grab this guy, the QB of the Cleveland Browns, who we don't even know if he's going to do anything yet. And let's throw him crazy money just to do whatever." What made him like the prince of the darling of the NFL?
I don't disagree with you, man. I mean, I would think that every commercial on this planet would have a Mr. Mahomes somewhere.
That's what, he's starting to get up to that list too, man. He's on everything.
But he's
earned it.
He has.
What about Russell Wilson? Put Russell Wilson on a few.
I can't stand that human being. I just don't like him. I don't like him.
He's a good human. Would you rather see him or Baker?
At least with Baker, you know what you're getting. He's a jerk. Russell Wilson, I can't tell if he is an extremely good human or if he is the fakest human on the planet.
He's a good human. Baker Mayfield, you can have Baker.
Is he? I mean, I could see something down the line 20 years from now, going back on a 30-on-30, Russell Wilson killing like 4 people. And you still never knew about.
No, he's a good person. But even beyond that, he's a star. He's earned it. What has Baker earned?
Baker hasn't earned anything. Just like
right, I think I look right now.
Just like the whole entire Cleveland fan base, they all suck.
Baker, he's a double agent. He's a fraud. You know what I don't like about him either is he tries to be tough. But you know what? You can be tough and talk crap if you can back it up. You got to back it up with your play. He has not been able to back it up yet. Back it up, and then you know what? Then you can talk. Did you see what Aaron Rodgers said the other day?
I don't disagree with you, but man, look at some of his coaches. Freddie Kitchens, he shouldn't have been coaching a 3rd grade peewee football team, let alone the Cleveland Browns.
That's the organization. Did you hear what Aaron Rodgers said the other day about? He said, talking smack. He said my worst game is better than most QB's best games.
I love that, man.
And people were like, I'm like, it's true.
It is true. No, it's true.
His worst game is better than most. I mean, now he's not talking about Brady, and he's not. But I mean, you know, when he's talking, you look at your average NFL QB. What do they do? They jump all over Aaron Rodgers when he throws for only 340 yards that game. Come on, man. I mean, so Baker, you got to show me more before you trash talk.
I mean, what when you say trash talk, what does he said that's like trash talk?
Well,
I
he's
mean,
always, being like flippant and all that other stuff. Like, yeah, we'll bring it here and blah blah blah. Or he's even like he's like this. He's very calculated in all this on we'll win this and the victory. Blah blah blah. He's very cocky for somebody that's done nothing.
but don't you want that in your quarterback?
I do, but I want him to perform. I want you to back it up with your play. Don't,
Again,
don't be
no,
cocky if you stink.
I agree. I agree. I mean, like I said,
What if Mitchell Trubisky was cocky?
oh, that guy stinks, man.
I know it. I mean, what would you do?
I mean, I'd laugh. It'd be hilarious because I'd laugh at every Bears fan. I mean, I do it to this day. I mean,
You talk about a
a
paper champion right now. The Bears are a paper champion.
I don't know. I mean, you beat Tampa. You beat Tampa. I mean,
I also believe Tampa is a paper champion. I think things will fall apart quickly for them.
wow. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think their defense is half decent. I mean,
Well,
I think
if you had Mac, of course you're going to be decent.
I don't think the Bears are any good either. You're right.
We'll see. I mean, as the season goes on, we'll see. We'll start to see a separation now. So we'll see. I'm interested to see what the Steelers will do. Again, we are the Yinzer Bros. If you got any questions or comments you'd like to ask us, you could always email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. Again, that's yinzerbros@gmail.com. We are here for you. We are. So we want to hear from you, the fans, because we just, we want to create a podcast that you enjoy, national podcast.
I do want to say this though. I mean, do I fall into the Baker category? I've been talking smack on the Boy Scout of America, and I haven't done anything. I mean,
After seeing the ring footage, I don't know if you were in a tussle with that guy. Maybe he's got his judo patch. Before I'd call out a Boy Scout, I'd take a good look at the patches that he's wearing.
I mean, he like I said, he was smoking heaters, and he had a brown bag of something he was sipping out of. I don't know what it was.
The Boy Scouts, the standard is dropped. I'll tell you, definitely not the standard of Mike Tomlin. The standard is the standard. There's no standard for the Boy Scouts of America now. So, I don't know. We'll see. Again, this should wrap it up for our latest edition of the Yinzer Brothers podcast. I am TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and we are the Yinzer Bros. We are shooting for a big victory this Sunday. My fellow Yinzers, stay classy, Pittsburgh. See you.